All right, today we are going to be solving logarithmic equations. Don't forget the basic rule to put something like this in log form. You go log 2 of 8 equals x. That's how we'll solve problems like number 1. For problems like number 2, don't forget ln is the same as log e. That'll be helpful. Or a different approach, take the natural log of both sides and where ln of e is seen, they cancel. It's not necessarily the mathematical reason, but when you see ln and e, they cancel. We'll use that on number 2, 4, and 5. But let's do number 1. Number 1, we're going to put in log form by saying log 4, 15 equals x. And don't forget, log 415 is just a number. It's an ugly number, but you just type it into the calculator. So for example, if you need to see it, we go control log 415, and you got it, 1.95. All right. On number 2, we have some more to do. On 2, 3, 4, all the rest of the problems. Number 1 is nice, very basic. But number 2, we need to isolate e. In other words, get rid of 40. All right. We're going to divide both sides by 40. And then the e will be all by itself. And then you have a choice. You can do it this way. We'll call it the red way. Or you can do it, let's call it the purple way. Take the log of both sides. It doesn't matter. Pick one way. So let's see. Let's do it the red way first. I'm going to do that right up here. Log e of 6 equals 0.6x. Make sure I wrote it right. We go to the calculator, type in log e6. By the way, I just hit delete when that exponent came up above the e. I just hit delete. You can type a 1. You should get 179. And then you learned how to solve this back in middle school. Just divide both sides by 0.6. And you got it. 2.98, 2.99, something like that. If you like that way, if that made sense, then go with that. Let's do it a purple way. What if I take the natural log of both sides? That's going to cause the e to disappear. And all we have left is that. Now you still have to type in natural log of 6. So you still got to go natural log 6. And look at that, we get 179. We've seen that number before. x is still 2.99. I think that 179 is rounded, so you might get 2.98. As long as you get 299, 298, you're good. All right? So pick the red way or the purple way. I actually prefer the purple way. On number 3, we need to isolate the 5. In other words, get rid of -3. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And now the 5 is isolated. Now treat it just like number 1. Put it into log form. Log 5, 13 equals 4x minus 7. And remember, log 5, 13, that's just a number. Type it into the calculator. And you get 1.59. Add 7 to both sides. And divide by 4. All right, number 4, I'm going to clear some space because we need space. Hopefully you still have room. If you need to flip to the back, go for it. Or if you need to draw an arrow down here, you won't need much room on number 5. I spaced that kind of poorly. All right, on number 4, isolating E doesn't work. Let's write it like this. Cannot. I've tried. First time I saw this problem, I tried. You just can't combine this term and this term. It's kind of like an x to a power plus another x to another power. You can't solve it, but you can factor it. Remember, if I multiply like bases with exponents, we add the exponents. So aren't I able to factor this with e to the x in the first spot? And then I need 2 numbers that multiply to 3 but add to -4? What about -3 and -1? That's all you have to do, and it's factored. This is -3ex. That's -ex. Add them together, and you get -4ex. It really helps to know the ins and outs of factoring to do this problem. So now you set each factor equal to 0, and you solve. So add 3 to both sides. Take the natural log of both sides. And you get 1.1. There's one answer. Add 1 to both sides. Take the natural log of both sides. And you get 0. All right, last problem is a word problem. And 2 things. First of all, 17 is your risk. 17 is R. Also, it is a percent. Do not move the decimal. When they word it that way, they're saying don't move the decimal. R represents a percent. So we plug in 17, and you solve just like, I think it was number 2. That means isolate e, so we divide both sides by 6. And you get 2.83. I like the natural log of both sides. That's how I learned to do this. Remember there was that red way I showed earlier where you put it into log form. You can do that if you want. And then divide both sides by 1277. And we get 081. All right, that's it. See you later. Bye.